So, a question came up yesterday in conversation. Why, if God created everything, did he create evil? And that's a beautiful question. It's a very valid question. And it's a question that humans have struggled with for a very long time. So, we really need to establish what the nature of God is, because who should worship or even care about something that allows such terrible evils in this world? That's a even better question than the original, at least in my estimation. So here's the thing. In First John, it says that God is love. He's the perfect embodiment of love. In First Corinthians, it says that love is patient, love is kind, love is not self-seeking. There's a few more to that verse. We've all heard that verse, the love verse. So if God is love and love is patient, love is kind, love is self-seeking, all those things, we could probably say that love is selfless. So the opposite of selfless is selfish. There's your first little hint. All evil derives eventually from selfishness. But back to the original question, why did God create evil? Well, did he? So let's go back to the very source. The Bible says in Isaiah that Lucifer, the devil, Satan, was the head angel in charge. He was the big guy. And one day, for some reason, which I do not understand, nor do I pretend to, this head angel decided to rebel against the Creator, because that makes sense, right? Anyway, he rebels. He gets a third of all the rest of the angels to follow him, and they get kicked out of heaven. So the Bible talks about angels subsisting on the very presence of God. This perfect embodiment of love, this perfect embodiment of all power, they basically live off of that energy. Well, the thing is that God doesn't make things mortal, so to speak. The spirit that animates our bodies, the spirit that are angels, are all immortal. And because God doesn't violate his own laws, they're not dying. So what happened when the devil and all of his demons got kicked out of heaven? What made them the devil and the demons is that they were stripped of the love, of that essence. So really, we need to decide what is the opposite of love. And you probably just said hate. And that's a very common answer, and it's a very logical answer. But I would submit to you that hate is actually not the opposite of love. Hate is actually the absence of love, which coincidentally perfectly describes the devil and his demons. Okay, now that we've established all that, why did God create evil? Well, let's go back to love. If you force something to love you, is it really love? Well, arguably no. If you're forcing, then you're coercing. And if you're coercing, then that's from a place of fear, of control, of selfishness, which is evil. Therefore, God didn't create evil, because in order to have love, you have to have free will. You have to be free to choose to love back. So, what did God create? He created free will. And it is that choice, whether we are going to love or whether we are going to hate. If we will be filled with love or we will have the absence of love. That's really where evil comes from. It's not that God created evil, but it is that it is permitted to exist for a certain amount of time, in so that love can be a choice. And this brings us to the entire point of existence. If you've ever wondered what the purpose of life is, what the point is of being on this rock, it's very simple. Do you want to live with God, or do you want to live without God? I hope this finds you well. Be blessed. I love you.